Was it
Okay, start.
World?
Broadcast has started. So I guess 20 seconds. We're 20 seconds ahead via the Logitech. So
You can
just
access Medusa.
Yeah, exactly.
Medusa.
Is the sound only coming out of the what's it called?
Yeah, we're good here. It should be anyway.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Post to the camera.
Yeah, the Amtrak's good. So I guess 20 seconds. We're 20 seconds ahead via the Logitech. So
You can
just
access
okay.
Medusa.
Yeah, exactly.
Medusa.
And this is recording as it's red. Yeah.
I just want to make sure latency isn't bad.
Okay.
Because we have two things recording right now, so I want to make sure it's not
Okay.
lag.
I mean, I don't think it matters. All right, so we're good. So it's recording. We're good. All right. So hey guys, welcome back to Flip Matters. Today, Aqua and I are actually going to go through the final rounds of the Swiss leading up to top 8 in Worlds. So we finalized at round 4 during the event itself, and now we're going to finish going into rounds 5 and 6.
All right.
So Aqua, so far we've seen nothing, but basically we know there's 47 Blazer decks going into Worlds, and they're pretty likely that they're all going to be red-white variants. I think we've seen a lot of power coming out of Percival, and I think Guiber and Lancelot have also been real game changers as well.
Absolutely. So far, like the meta here is looking like, I mean, this Blazers everywhere, Blazer. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we look into another Blazer match here. So we'll see what each player pulls out. How do you feel about the hand
cams?
Displays?
I'm okay. So going into this, actually, I'm going to be real. I'm really happy that Force of Will has a stream for Worlds. Now, going into this event, I know there was actually a lot of controversy, and there was talk whether or not there would be a stream and things like that. But to be honest, between the casters that are actually doing the cast live, that are, I guess, the liaisons for the United States and Italy, respectively, and the amount of I'm just going to call it busyness, right, that's going on in the stream itself.
Okay.
It's hard to concentrate, and especially with the resolution as well. So I'm happy that they have it, but I honestly would prefer if they didn't have the hand/player cams, just because it would make the resolution for the field itself better.
Okay, I agree with that. I think actually the face cams would be pretty cool, but like if maybe they put like a small face cams on top right, top left hand side of the players themselves, you can really have a caster's bottom right hand side if you really want the casters in there. But I don't think they're necessary for the most part. You really want to highlight the players and the gameplay itself of the game. The rest of it looks kind of busy.
Especially going into an event like this, players.
Looks like we see Gawain, Hector, Lancelot, Guiver.
Oh wow, this is surprising.
And Artemis. Okay, so Artemis Bow is probably one of the most MVP cards of this format, the SKL format. I think it's going to be a huge game changer in the upcoming format too. I mean, paying 0 to play Regalia.
I like the fact that you can pay 0 to kill anything that's flying. And I think even though pinging something for 400 if it attacks or blocks is nasty, but I think more importantly the fact that it's 0 cost removal is even stronger, to be honest.
Okay. I mean,
also
I think it costs 0 and it handles aggression. So like going into the next format, the New Frontiers format, we're going to see stuff like Familiar Cat come out in conjunction with the Artemis Bow, which handles a Lancelot threat on turn 2.
That's true.
Lancelot swings, you block with the Cheshire, you hit them you ping with the Artemis Bow, boom, the Lancelot's dead. So that's going to handle a lot of the early game aggression, which I think this game, honestly, created Force Will kind of curving it out to do. I
like the fact that as much as Regalia were very controversial going into this set, I think that I like what they're doing in regards to forcing J-Rulers and Regalia to be kind of more important in regards to deck building and gameplay itself.
I agree. I think it's really cool. But did you see that? Did you see it? I believe he mulliganed. I'm not sure it's Ricardo or
no.
It was Ricardo. He did mulligan a Guiver. I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think you would ever mulligan a Guiver in this format.
He kept the Regalia, mulligan the Guiver, but he did draw into both a Guinevere, two Guineveres, a Rook Egg, Demon Flame.
Yeah, that was a really aggressive mulligan, and
it paid off. I think it paid off.
Yeah, I still would have kept the Guiver though. It's hard to justify not keeping Guiver.
Yeah, going to turn 3 Guiver is so incredibly powerful.
I mean, to be fair, he's on the draw here, which I understand, but even still, if the player on the left does start the game and drop a Guiver on turn 3, you need a way to respond to that. And maybe, I mean, he did get the bow and the Demon Flame, So that's going to help him a lot if he does see that early Gwyber. But again, I still would rather have the ability to drop a Gwyber because he already had the bow anyway, unless he was digging for the flame.
Okay. Looks like Ricardo did go first, and he did grab a Percival. So turn 1 Percival.
No, Kevin went first.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Kevin would go first. So
yeah, for sure.
Bow into
Guinevere. And now this is interesting. Aqua, can you talk about the reason why you played the Guinevere instead of the Rook Egg first?
Guinevere opening hand is, I think, a lot more powerful because you have a lot more answers with it. You can Guinevere itself, and you can make the trigger effect. The opening Rook Egg just gives you a little more of a blocker, but you almost always, in this matchup, you want the Guinevere turn 1 or Percival. Both of them are really powerful plays. I think Percival's a little more powerful right now than Guinevere, but both of them are really good plays to go to turn 1.
That's solid. Now, something we've seen a lot here that I know we didn't utilize a lot in playtesting was actually Gawain.
And that's because we kind of forewent going the mono light route. I mean, Gawain's a great card, but with a splash of green, you have access to like rapid growth. The splash of blue, you have access to Medusa. And I can't stress enough how I feel those, like just having this as small splash, the 7-3 ratio with your stone count, 7 whites, 3x. You can still go into these other cards and give yourself a small edge with the pool.
I feel like players are also opting to go. I mean, obviously Artemis Bow at 4 is a no-brainer. Okay, it's so strong, especially with Demon Flame. It deals with threats and it gives you hard removal in a format with that really hard removal. But in this scenario, I feel like players are forgetting how strong Lancelot is as a card because you can drop Lancelot and then ping things if you can get him to 1,000 attack for 700. So obviously. Gawain just dies, and then you're forcing your opponent to sack the Percival, so that's insane, to be quite honest. What I mean? And I think that's something that, again, I think the splash of green really gives you access to, where right now they're kind of struggling to hit that 1,000. And that's why I think Hector is so strong as well in this format.
So it looks like Kevin here went Percival into Gawain. Very strong opening. Ricardo opened with, looks like he left 1 up for a Demon Flame. He has 2, so he's looking to hit that Demon King, something with a Demon Flame following turn. So
I don't know why he would leave open. I mean, I guess he had nothing
maybe
to play.
He's scared of a Lancelot. He might be fearing Flame King Shout dropping, board wiping him.
I mean, that makes sense.
The Gareth. I don't know exactly what his train of thought here is, but
I mean, I guess that'd be terrible. I mean, pretty devastating.
Regardless,
Kevin
he can still ping with Artemis Bow in conjunction with Demon Flame, so that's not a bad play at all.
That's true. So of course Kevin's actually going to ping that Guinevere, and Ricardo's of course going to rest it in response to utilize the effect of Guinevere itself.
Yep, generating basically putting your opponent at -1 with that Demon Flame. So
yeah, and again, that's a really aggressive play on Kevin's part against Ricardo. I'm a little surprised he did it. I mean, I guess he's trying to ping the Guinevere because he doesn't want Ricardo generating a lot of advantage with those eggs. But again,
I don't think that's much of a threat, though. Honestly,
exactly.
Like it's usually I'll search out egg for another option. Like you're expending yourself 1 egg per turn.
It feels almost like a waste to me, to be honest with you. Like I understand that he wanted to get rid of that, but I don't think the card advantage. Like I don't know, Demon Flame is so valuable in this format.
Okay, he's going to ping the Gawain for 4, and he's probably going to follow that up with a Demon Flame. So
yeah.
It looks like he's holding out the Demon Flame right now. He wants to see what other cards.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's
reasonable. That's Lancelot.
There's the Lance, yeah.
With everything tapped down, he's going to swing in for a 6 damage opening. So he was hoping to hit 8 because of the Gawain boost. He's going ahead and just ping off the Gawain now, mitigate his damage down to 6.
Okay.
Yep, Ricardo just realizes, that's it. That's all he can do. So. But still 6 damage, having a Lancelot and a Percy on the feels not bad.
Well, that was actually a huge misplay, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ricardo took the damage for no reason.
He could have, in response, sacked off the Percival to mitigate the damage from...
Yeah, he could have...
No, Demon Flame's secondary effect would have still killed it because he did take 4 previously, so...
Well, it's
he
not
would have
that
had to have done that off the Artemis Bow.
Well, the thing is, you're exactly right, Aqua, but the problem is Ricardo took 300 damage for no reason. He should have killed it when he had the chance. You know what I mean? He basically said... it's not like he didn't know that Kevin had this Percival up, and he should have been anticipating a Lancelot because that's the format. So he took 300 damage from Gawain anyway, and he could have just prevented it by demon flaming earlier. So Ricardo is minus 300 for no reason right now.
Okay, Kevin actually plays a Death Scythe in his main board. I guess he was expecting to see more Faria and Melgus, which isn't a bad call at all. But
the names are correct. The names are correct with the side of the board.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
So we have Ricardo over here.
Yeah, Ricardo main decks Death Scythe, right?
No,
He was the one who just Percivaled on the right.
Ricardo has green sleeves. I'm sorry, Kevin has.
Yeah, Kevin has green sleeves. Yeah.
Yep.
But this is Ricardo right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it kind of. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're reversed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow. Double bow is just so devastating, and again, that's going to stop a lot of the aggression from that Lancelot. And again, wow, is that triple bow? Wow.
Oh my goodness, a triple bow.
I mean, wow. So, interestingly enough, and this is kind of where variance comes in. Ricardo hasn't been doing it. To be honest, he's in Worlds. He just took 300 damage for no reason. But he just drew 3 bows. And he has 2 Demon Flames. I think it's going to be hard for Kevin to kind of stabilize, even though he was on the play here. Just because 3 bows is just so devastating. There's no real way for him to pop out of this.
Yeah, 3 bows. That's extremely devastating.
I think that Demon Flame, I think it has to come out. I think he has to drop the Demon Flame into Lancelot and just kind of hope for the best.
Okay, so Flame King chat's dropping right now. Well, the good thing is, yes, he's gonna sack off the Rook Egg, possibly.
I guess he wants to search before he draws, which is reasonable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is reasonable.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's the play here because that way he knows what he's getting, and then he has less of a chance of drawing it again, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's gonna pick something up. There we go. He picks up Lancelot.
Okay.
He's gonna draw 2 cards, pitch 1, and then he's gonna have to kill off the Guinevere.
How do you feel about that Lancelot pick? Because I've seen a lot of players main decking. I want to say Gareth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Gareth would be a lot stronger here if he did main deck it, or even, drag anything, to be honest. He's getting to the point where he has enough resources to drop, those really heavy-hitting resonators, when he's getting
Drake
to mid-range.
wouldn't be a he's pick here just because he's going to go into turn 4, right? And he's not going to have anything to stack off for. Like, generally, if you want to go Drake, you want to use Guinevere, stack off a Rook Egg, or kill off something else to reduce Drake's cost by 1, so you're dropping it on turn 4 too. It's like a secondary Wyvern almost.
Well, how do you feel about maybe a Gareth instead here instead of the Lancelot? Because I feel like Ricardo's already getting beaten down, by the Lancelots on Kevin's field. He's going to have a difficult time swinging back from this, even with the extra bows. And I don't know why he chose Lance here.
Yeah. Yes and no. Wow. Another Percival. Honestly, this format is defined mostly by, I feel, Percival and in conjunction with Artemis Bow. I think Artemis Bow is just so huge. And we can see that here today. Like, we have 3 Artemis Bow on, looks like Ricardo's side of the field.
All with 2 counters.
Yeah, except one has 1 counter.
That's correct, yeah.
But, in that sense, if you're not flipping your ruler, like, Arla might have been a really strong choice here today. Like, if you had, the only problem is you'd have to probably go monocolor. But if you're playing mono red with Arla, hey, it might work.
It certainly seems
you still have
viable.
access to Lancelot. You still have access to Flame King Gareth. Demon Flame, Guinevere, Rook Egg, like all your package is still there. It's just you're playing mono red with Arla, which gives you 4 counters on the bows when you hit them. But that would make it so you wouldn't have access to the Percival. So it's a trade-off.
Okay, so it looks like Kevin's actually going to opt to sack a Percival a little early, actually. So I guess, technically speaking, Ricardo in response could actually ping him with both of the other bows, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Because Kevin's actually, so what Kevin did was he sacked Percival in response to the first bow.
In response to the first blow?
That's correct.
Okay. That was a little bit of a misplay.
Yeah. And
jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what's getting called right now. I think Ricardo's actually getting some clarification to see if he can rest both bows in response in order to ping the Lancelot for 800, which he can, 100% he can, yeah. And that's why I think Kevin's caught a little off guard here, and I think Ricardo's kind of explaining the situation to him as well. Again, it's Worlds. You should know your timing better. There's no reason to sack something preemptively for no reason.
I think, but having a triple bow caught him off guard, and now I think Kevin's just kind of He's misplaying a little bit, but I think he's also his nerves are getting to him at this point too. So
I mean, I think both players are probably on the bubble here. I mean, neither of them is guaranteed a top 8 spot. They're going into this round. They're probably both undefeated, so they're probably both 4-0.
they're not guaranteed it, but they're definitely in prime positioning for those top spots. So
Well, and to be fair, they're both playing right now. Whoever wins this is guaranteed a spot in top 8 for sure, because they'll
that
end
is true.
they'll end 5-0, and then they're guaranteed a spot in the top 8. So I understand the reason why they have nerves. Whereas like in round 2, 3, 4, you want to win, but it's not a huge deal, because
It's
you
not
can
a
still
huge
come
deal,
back.
but players. I feel like some players will have a lot more nerves on them when you put it on a high performance stage.
Aqua, can you talk a little bit about? You have a lot of experience on stream itself, like as that player in the spotlight. Can you talk about what it's like to be in the spotlight at a large event like this?
I mean, you just have to maintain your composure and just play it as a normal game. You just can't think too much into it. Otherwise, your nerves will get the best of you. You will start making plays that you normally don't do. You normally don't you wouldn't, and sometimes you'll bypass the most obvious optimal play in the scenario just because you're so jittery.
And do you think that's what's happening here right now?
Kevin, absolutely, hands down.
It just seems like you said. I think it's difficult to respond.
He probably already knows the thought process and how things work.
And there it goes. And then he did end up losing that Lancelot, and that probably put him on tilt. To be honest, he looks real shooken up here.
Yep.
Yeah, so now he's calculating his life. But again, Ricardo just looks like he's in a really good situation here. I mean, to be honest, although I don't know, I think Kevin made the right play by playing that Flame King shot, which is very intelligent. He put him up. He got to play that Lancelot.
Well, that Flame King shot is an amazing card on the draw.
Oh yeah.
Let's just guess right now, Flame King shot on the draw.
But Kevin was on the play, so he's even more ahead.
Kevin should be ahead, but because of Flame King shout, it kind of offsets all the tempo you gain from being on the play.
Yeah. Which
is why I think it's a great sideboard card, in my opinion. I want to mainboard it, but when you're playing on the draw, Flame King Shout can offset the tempo and put you back into the favor. So
I honestly I understand why you played Flame King Shout, and to be honest, that was probably the most I guess attractive play at the time. But looking back, honestly, Gareth might have been a better decision. You know what I mean? Although to be honest, if he hadn't misplayed with that Percival, he would still have the Lancelot, and Ricardo would be getting beaten on by 2 lances. So I mean, honestly that's probably the difference between winning and losing this game. It's just that one misplay, and it's completely Kevin's fault. He missed the timing. And he shouldn't have done that. This is Worlds. He should know better.
Yeah, but okay. So looks like Ricardo is looking for something.
He's just digging with that Percival, my man.
Percival does best, keeps digging.
I like the fact that Ricardo is actually main decking Drag. And it's that's honestly something that we didn't see a lot in this event, and
I was definitely surprised about that too. I would main deck a single text Drake, and I have a feeling that's what probably Ricardo's doing, because when you need it, you have access to it, because usually you won't be looking for it till turn 4 or 5. By that point, you can sack a Rookseg off. You can use Guinevere Rookseg. You can drop it on turn 4 or 5. You have options.
And sometimes you don't always have the Gwyber, and I think that's where the
exactly.
Drake comes
having
into play.
5 dragons and then one of them's searchable at almost any time in the game, it's definitely opens windows for you. So,
I mean, to be honest,
honestly, let's be real. The bows here are giving Ricardo the huge advantage. It's just so hard to overcome these bows.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, I think there's 2 things that Kevin has right now. To be honest, I think the Rook Egg is insignificant, but he is about to hit that Gareth, and Gareth is a lot of work for Kevin. I mean, there's no real way for Ricardo to kill it, and he does target attacks, so we can start wailing on Ricardo's dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, the bows don't take care of it. It prevents basically all that damage because it doesn't do it outright.
Oh man. Now, if he had typed blue, the green, he could go into Lancelot, and then Lancelot can just swing in. I'm sorry. I just had to put it out there. Rapid Growth is such an incredible card.
Yeah, honestly, Rapid Growth and Power Supply team are just so strong.
Because every time, basically, Lancelot swings, you get 2 uses out of it, and basically it says destroy target resident with 700 less defense.
Aqua, just imagine if one of those Gareths was a PST, was a Power Supply team, and he was playing Rapid Growths. He could have swung in, pinged something, readied it with PST, swung again.
Yeah, that would have been game right
And
there.
he would have prevented the damage from the bows as well, utilizing that Percival.
True.
He would have board cleared. Good game, bro. And that's how game 1 would have went. Unfortunately, to be fair,
having a PST put the clock and forces your opponent to always take into consideration the potential for an OTK.
How do you feel about Bellavere or Bedivere main decked?
I like it, actually. I do like it, especially in this format, because I think Dragons are going to be... I was predicting Dragons were going to be rampant. I was predicting White was going to be rampant. To this extent, no. But to expect it, if I was able to, I feel I would have probably taken this deck with the green twist to it. So going into rounds 3, 4, and 5, I'd be very confident in my mirror match because I do have that option on turn 4 or 5, just hit that OTK spike. And in that case, I don't mind accepting like them going all out on me. Flame King Shout, I'll take it as long as I have a Wyvern in play. I can just PST into a double rapid growth and I win the game on turn 5. Right?
There's nothing more funny than seeing someone's look on their face when you're like, okay, I'm at 200 life, and then playing a PST of 2 rapid growths and then swinging twice with a Wyvern for game. And to be honest, in playtesting,
life is nothing but a resource, right?
Yeah, life is nothing but a resource. That's exactly right. Man, it's all we see is Percival. It's amazing. Now, I'm wondering how much work that Gareth is going to do. To be honest, it can stop the bows, it can stop the lands.
It stops the bows, stops the Percival, stops lands. We can't really see what
Ricardo has right now.
Yeah, what Ricardo has right now. So.
Okay, so there's that. Yep, there it is. So
there it is.
He's just going to swing in for 1,000, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's swinging for 1,000.
But pinging, that does nothing. So
exactly.
And that's what we were talking about, Gareth.
But the problem is here, if Gareth blocks, he can just stack Percival and prevents the Lancelot from dying. So there's no point blocking here, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kevin made the right choice by not blocking because there's no way. I mean, Gareth is just an unstoppable machine for Kevin right now, and it's keeping him in the game, to be quite frank.
Oh, yeah. It definitely is.
Now, the one problem I do have with Gareth is, again, he is very susceptible to dragons.
Oh, my God. And there is a second Lancelot.
Wow. Yeah. Just damage on damage on damage. Can he respect? Yeah, he has to block. He does. And, yep, he's gonna pump it up, and he's going to say, wow, he's going to sack the Percival. Yeah, Kevin's just playing on tilt at this point. He should have seen that coming,
Yeah, he should have accepted damage. He's completely playing on tilt here.
Yeah, so, I mean, to be honest, we have Fixer again, very good, and we see a Percival in a Demon Flame. It's just, to be honest, I think it's almost impossible for Ricardo to lose this game.
Look at Ricardo's field positioning.
Yeah, wow, double Lancelot, Hector, Percival, 3 bows, Demon Flame, and a Percival in hand. I don't foresee Ricardo. I don't think there's anything Kevin can do, to be honest.
Yeah.
He'd have to drop an Oberos, and maybe a 2020 would save him.
Not even at this point.
Yeah, I don't even know. It's hard casting.
Maribel.
Wow. Okay.
Not a fan of the Maribel. He's probably teching in, expecting to use it against.
Probably bows. I think the Maribel's tech against bow. Yeah.
I don't feel very strongly about that because you're trading at best one mana for 0, and you're losing out tempo if you use it early game, which is where bow's strength is. So Maribel really isn't a counter to Artemis bow unless they're playing Arlo.
How do you feel about main decking Bellavere?
Bedivere,
yeah.
Bedivere? Yeah, I mean, Bedivere is an amazing card, like I said.
In the meta, yeah, for sure. It's hard removal against things like Wyvern.
Going into the New Frontiers format, absolutely not. I think it's going to be a card that we don't even see in most side decks. But in this format, yeah, it's a very powerful card.
It's a huge powerhouse. That's exactly right.
It's very predictable. Like everything in this format is very predictable. So
I mean, we're basically seeing the same 36 card build. The only things we've really seen that have been like unique, I guess, are honestly quite frankly.
I was really hoping to see some more originality in like the splash, like teching either black or like green or
Dark
blue.
Pulse, Rapid Growth, or Medusa. I wanted to see.
Sorry, dark. You mean Underground Dragger?
No, Dark Purge. Dark Purge. Yeah. Underground Dragger's great too, and I like that card a lot. Again, just that black splash, that green splash, or that blue splash. But again, I feel like players were making comfort picks, and I think they underestimated their play, their group of people that they were going against. They were like, "Oh, I'm smart. I'm the only person coming to this event that sees the strength of Blazer and Lancelot, Percival, and Wyvern." And I think that was wrong. I think going to an event like this, if you want to win, you should be doing something different. You should be able to predict what you're going to see at the event, and these players clearly weren't able to do that.
But to the extent of playing like something like, let's say, a Machina or Rezer, do you feel that would have been an Alice?
So to be honest with you,
I mean, I would take a winning formula and just add a little bit of a little bit of more power to it, like somehow come up with something a little more powerful.
Yeah.
and add a spike to it. So there's always something to anticipate.
I think going into this event, people should have expected to see Blazer white, and I think that they weren't. I think players overestimated their own skill level, or they didn't play test enough.
They thought they had the most powerful deck, and they probably play tested against like all these other decks, right? Like Rezer and Mackinon's like, this deck is definitely the most powerful deck in the format. But what they failed to do was play test against that itself,
Yeah, that exactly.
Because they were like, okay, well, how do I tweak it against all these other decks? But they're not tweaking against the mirror match.
Exactly right. And
which is what I think we'll see the strongest player probably just have a little bit of an incursion to a little flavor basically to their deck. That'll help them out here. So
that's exactly right. Now, the one thing I'm actually really surprised about too, not enough Rezzard in this event. Now, Aqua, you know that I'm a big Rezzard fanboy. Even going into this SKT format, I think Rezzard is one of the strongest rulers, and especially after hearing the new ruling, I don't want to say new ruling, but the ruling alteration from the way Italy and the United States was playing, where gods are clouding abilities for Regalia being rested in order to reduce the cost.
That would have been huge. I think a lot of US players might have actually turned to Faria.
Yes.
Because all you have to do is set up the OTK with Faria because you can attack twice. Even if they have Blazer with Death Scythe, you're not going to care if you already set the OTK, If you already went off and won the game, then at that point it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if they're trying to kill your J Ruler because they're already dead.
Exactly.
Now, here's, to be honest, it's Worlds here. Ricardo's already won. Kevin, what are you going to do? Why are you wasting everyone's time? You should go into sideboard. You should collect yourself. You should move forward, man. You're playing on tilt already. Scoop the game and go to game 2. Aqua, what do you feel right now?
Yeah, I agree. Like this point, I would definitely avoid showing anything else.
Exactly.
The board position, the field position, I don't think there's anything he can do. Recover. He has no TK options. All he's doing is praying he has something. But when you have 2 Percivals, he's going out. Yeah, landslide.
Nice play, Kevin. Well done. That's.
Hey man, let's just be fair to him. That's the American way. Never give up.
That single Lancelot is really gonna take this game from you, man. That's the other thing too. Bellavere with rapid growth. Good game. You can pop a lance for 4 nuts.
It definitely has potential.
And it kills Gareth too. And that's the thing. I feel like again players just were really short sighted. Wow. Kevin, stop. Please. You're hurting me.
Oh, Kevin.
Yep. Oh, scoop phase. Search your deck. Rook egg. Go. No.
This game definitely ran away. I think Kevin's probably just avoiding.
I mean, and to be fair, it's a 60-minute round. It's game 1, and it's 33 minutes in. He should have scooped to make sure that he had enough time to win the next 2 rounds because he has to win 2 rounds in a row. And that's the thing in events like this.
Except the game. I mean, I understand you're in stream. You don't want to fail like your fans or like your friends, whatever the sentiment is. But you have to understand. At this point, you have to recollect yourself because Kevin's definitely playing on a little bit of tilt right now. He needs to recollect himself and kind of get back in the game here. Get his head on straight and just kind of recompose his deck, recompose himself, maybe side in those Flame King Shadows so he has them, and try to recover.
Aqua, can you kind of talk about what it is to be on tilt and kind of what tilt is in regards to competitive gaming?
Tilt?
Yes. And kind of where it comes from?
It can come from anything, honestly. As long as the nerves, the player, if you're thrown off beat, usually one misplay will take a game away. Knowing that itself, and after you cause a misplay, usually can cause a chain reaction of trying to quickly answer whatever is going on the field, on the board, without rationalizing it. You think, okay, well, I have to quickly recover. I have to do something, catch him off guard. But you are already playing on tilt because you're accepted the fact that you did make a misplay. And by playing quickly and or on the jitters, not thinking through all your plays, not thinking through the most optimal play, because you're just playing. All you can think about is, boy, I messed up here. And usually that you're not concentrating on the game state. You start concentrating on what you did to mess up. So it's really hard to recover sometimes when you just go on full tilt. You can't concentrate. You're thinking about something that should have been already happened. You need to move on. Just move on, Kevin. Take that loss. Go to game 2.
So Aqua, how do you feel?
rebound.
How do you feel going into game 2? Do you think Kevin's gonna be able to compose himself? Just looking at him in the camera, you know what I mean?
Just by looking at like
Do you think
I
he's
can't
still shaken?
tell. I think he is definitely after going to misplay like that. You're definitely going to be still shaken up, but he can definitely still recover very very easily. It's all on Kevin to see if he can bounce back from this because he is going first again. If he can win this and regain his confidence, go in game 3, even though he's playing on his back foot, playing on a draw, he can still win on that.
Yeah.
So,
That's a great analysis, to be honest. Now I'm pretty certain I did see Ricardo take out maybe some Death Size, some Mary Bells from his main board. And to be honest, I'm so surprised that those are being main decked.
I'm not. I mean, honestly, like if I saw more, if I anticipated a lot more Faria and Mel just.
Well, maybe 2. I can justify maybe main decking 2 Death Sides because it's an auto win against Marion.
Exactly. So in my mind, like I was probably going to main deck 2 Death Sites just in anticipation against all those players playing Melgis or Faria. Just because they're playing Melgis Faria, Death Sight is an auto win against the matchup. A near auto win, let's just say.
Yeah, for sure.
So having that option is definitely in my mind, I was going into it, okay, if I get past first 3 rounds, if I get matched up against one of those, or if I go into round 4 or 5, if one squeaked in and I'm paired up against one of those decks, I still need to answer. So going into it, game 1, having Death Sight will automatically allow me to win the match. Going to game 2, I feel more confident I can side of the other 2 win. Game 3, if there is a game 3, there should be doubtful at that point. I'll probably take that game 2. So game 3 also.
What is Ricardo doing? Okay, dude, like we know you're playing Blazer. Why are you concealing your ruler, man? Like I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, after you see Blazer game 1, you know they're not going to switch out their rulers. It's very unlikely unless you see. No, there's no
reason.
Honestly, like I was saying,
he's sideboarding an Alice in deep blue. Like what?
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
His sideboard is literally 10 blue stones and Alice and 4 deep blues. Like
that would literally take up his entire sideboard, and that would be freaking brilliant. But
no one would see it coming.
No one would see it coming, but it would just adds too much of a variance because Blazer decks usually run 100% of the off-color stones, and then 60% of their decks. 40-60% of their deck is mono red. So because that's the easiest color fixing they have access to.
So Aqua, what is going on with the other stream, man? Like I'm trying to focus on the game and the matches, but
so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
I just sorry. Like guys, I apologize. I know you can't see their stream right now because we overlaid our stuff on top of it, but they have like cosplayers. I heard they weren't even talking about the game. Like, I don't know. I tried to watch it actually the other day, and it was hard to get through. You know, it's admirable that they were trying, but
I thought the players were pretty cool for the most part, but just like the commentary, I wasn't a big fan of. Like the stuff they were saying, it was like non-relevant.
It wasn't relevant, yeah.
And a lot of the analysis wasn't very.
Why
clean.
Did Kevin keep Maribel in his deck? What is he doing?
He's so scared of. He's so
wow.
scared of.
Yeah, Kevin's
triple bows. Like even if you see like one thing happen, doesn't mean it's going to happen again. You have to play on probability. That's the best way to play the matchup. Just because you saw 3 Arlos doesn't mean 3 Arlos are going to be hitting the field. Sorry, 3 bows. 3 bows.
Why is everyone playing? What are they doing? Oh, are you that afraid of Bo that you're main decking Maribel? Like, I get it. Bo was a good card, but. Like, is it that big of a okay? Really, that's a joke. Why would you just draw? Okay, that's ridiculous. Why would you play a Maribel and tell your opponent you have it? That's ridiculous. There's literally no reason for it to be on the board right now.
I agree because it's better to conceal the card information you have. I think he just wants. Yeah, there's just no reason.
That was ridiculous. Because now if he plays Bo, That's it. You know what I mean? Oh wow. So yeah, no, of course you're gonna take a Bo. So now Ricardo has 2 bows, 3 bows in his hand, and a Maribel.
But bows are definitely putting in work for Ricardo.
Wow, indeed, sir. Yeah, wow. Ricardo, you know what Ricardo did? He just said, "I don't care. You played a Maribel. I'm gonna play a Maribel." He wants Kevin to know that he has an answer for all of his moves.
I mean, I agree. Like, there's no reason to play that Maribel on both players' part. At this point, I feel like Ricardo is probably just doing it just to keep the mind games going on Kevin. And I know this is a high level match, but I do see here there's a lot of mind games going on, and like the Maribel plays, they don't have any purpose.
No purpose at all. Absolutely,
you're just revealing information unnecessarily.
I mean, even on turn 3, you know, or you can't
unless
even do that.
Unless you plan on using the Maribels on the turn, don't play it.
Yeah,
it's Blazer versus Blazer. You're not going to use. I mean, you're going for.
Yeah,
I mean, turn 5 is when you can act. There's no reason for it to be played.
Aqua, right now, Kevin has 3 cards in his hand. He could have quote unquote 4 with Maribel in his
misinformation. Basically,
yeah, he's just wasting. Yeah, this is ridiculous. I can't believe
triggered
this.
to kill the Maribel here.
Yeah, I guess he had an extra stone up. You know what I mean? Oh, he
plays the double Artemis. Here we go. Yep.
Okay.
And then, okay, now Kevin's
wow,
crying.
look at Kevin's face. Yeah, he's done.
He's laughing.
He's
sorry,
he's
laughing.
laughing.
He knows.
Well, he knows. Yeah, he misplayed by playing the Maribel. He knows it.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for showing us the Artemis bow, guys. Thank you, stream. Yes, so at this point, I think everybody knows that Artemis Bow is a 0-cost regalia. It gives your J-Ruler target attack, which is kind of irrelevant. But what it does do is it comes into play with 2 counters, and you can rest it and remove.
Stacking Artemis Bow is going to be pretty. Honestly, I think next format, Artemis Bow is definitely going to be one of the MVPs, and it's only a rare.
I think it's going to be one of those cards like Flames of the Outer World, where it's just super valued.
Super, yeah.
I agree.
It's probably going to be like start off as a $3 rare. Guys, pick them up now.
Yep.
3 weeks later, we'll see it probably as a $12 rare. It's going to be that.
Everybody remember this timestamp for what we just said, because in a couple weeks, we're going to be like, guys, Flip Matter said it here first.
So true.
So Ricardo's got double bow. Now, to be fair, Kevin does have that Lancelot with that Hector and Guinevere. So like there's, yeah, but it's wow, yeah. So he's I guess he swung with Lance, forced the exhaustion or the resting of the bows.
So he's getting rid of trying to get rid of the bows quickly.
I mean, I guess, you know what I mean.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
It's not bad. Yeah, and then he's discarding Bedivere, which again, I think are these players even playing Wyber? You know what I mean? Like I know there's one Dragon here for sure.
He's just trying to maintain advantage at this point.
Maybe Kevin's not playing Wyber, because I don't think I've seen it in his hands, and he's drawn a lot of cards.
Yeah, that's so true, actually. If he's not playing Wyber, that might be. I mean, good for him for getting this far, but that's a huge issue. I
mean, to be honest, that's probably exactly the problem. To be honest, like Wyber is just such a strong play, and I mean that would explain why he has all the room for the Gareths and the Gawains and or Gowans.
I mean, you should have room for that.
I mean, to be fair though, you should definitely have room for Wyber. I feel it's hard to justify a deck without Wyber. Like literally the best resonator.
Especially when you're running a lot of like the lower drops, because if you could easily drop Wyber on turn 3. So Ricardo does have the Wyber. Man, those bows just doing so much work here.
Oh my gosh! With another Percy.
Okay, so the Percy, and
wow.
you probably go into Lancelot here.
Actually, I don't know. Gareth is a knight as well, correct?
It is.
Yeah, Gareth. I mean, not a bad, because it is target attack, so he can swing and kill actually that Gawain. To be honest, so Gareth not actually a terrible choice here either. I mean, to be fair though, Ricardo does have that Wyber, so he might opt to get the Lance, like you said as well. I mean, he actually, yeah, because he has the Wyber.
He has. Okay, yeah, he has Wyber, so he's going for the Gawain.
Okay, I don't know if I would have done that. I might have gone for the. I like Gareth here more, to be honest with you, just because again, like I mean, we have some information with Kevin. We know he has the Lances, but you should be playing around that anyway. You know what I mean? And clearly both players are utilizing bow. So I think just to maintain board state, I think Ricardo after this turn can drop the Gareth and just have target attack to deal with any threats. Yep. Yeah. So there's the Wyber.
He's the Wyber.
Yeah, and then I guess he wants the Gareth, but again, I still think Gawain is superior here. But I guess he wants to start pumping up his dudes with the Gawain.
Kevin, I mean, this game is probably running away from Kevin. Kevin's probably attributing a lot of his games to luck, but it's definitely not luck.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly right. I
guarantee it. He's been outplayed and mind gamed so much this match. I mean, it's unfortunate that first game that it was a bit of luck that Ricardo picked up 3 bows.
Well, but a misplay too, to be fair as well.
But
don't forget he missed the timing.
Yeah, Kevin did have the Maribel answer, but he did misplay the timing on that.
Yeah, I
think Ricardo's been in Kevin's head this past 2 matches. So
yeah, I mean, you can see it in his face. He just looks soft. You know what I mean? He's just kind of
it's not even soft. It's just like he's accepted that he's losing, but he attributes it probably to luck, opposed to like looking at the circumstance and understanding what's going on around him. So,
well, and the thing is, how can you win if you've already lost yourself? And as cliche
hard.
as that is,
it's so
true.
hard to accept though. Like it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, he's like smirking here right now. He looks at the board state. I think Kevin realizes, kind of the truth.
Yeah, the situation. So.
Yeah, searching his deck with that egg.
So Ricardo
getting that wow. So he's got that Hector and that Lance. So he's gonna snipe that Gawain.
Yeah, I think he has another card also. Is it just 2?
It's a Gawain and a Lance.
Okay, a Gawain, a Lance, and a Hector now.
Yeah, for sure. And again, what's Kevin doing with double Lance? You know what I mean? Like nothing. I guess he intends to double swing into Gwyber maybe if it swings into him. And this is where Power Supply Team comes in handy. Now here's the thing.
The thing, yeah, exactly. Like if you had a PST here. I wouldn't value on this turn. I would have to go into the next turn to really value the PST play, but not having access to Gwybers is something I really don't agree with. Like,
no, absolutely, he should. I mean, to be honest with you, and I know you're not going to say, but I will. He shouldn't be this far in this event without playing Gwyber. It's outrageous to me. Gwyber's literally people were saying Percival was the best resonator. Even Lancelot, no. Gwyber is hands down the best resonator in this meta. It's a 12/12 you can play on turn 3 with flying. Good game.
It's a huge threat. Huge threat.
Deal with me. You can't. That's game. And to be honest, Lancelot's really good. And Percival's really good because it gives you access to Regalia. But deal with the 12/12 on turn 3. And like it's just, if you're not playing it, you are not a good deck builder. And that's hands down. He might have made it to Worlds because he was maybe he was great in the other format, but being on the spot here in SKT, I'm just disappointed, to be honest with you. Again, and to be fair, we haven't seen his deck list, so I can't officially tell you whether or not Kevin is utilizing Gwyber.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think it's fairly obvious after seeing this many cards into both these games, not a single Gwyber. I think that's a pretty good indicator, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. So, well, maybe he plays 3 or something, drop the count, and he's foregoing that by upping the count on his higher red resonators.
Yeah, again, I would say that's a huge error in his judgment, in his deck building, especially going into this event, especially assuming that other players are going to be utilizing Gwyber itself as well. I think
maybe he opted for the Bellevue and stuff to counter the Gwyber instead of running Gwyber itself, but that's something I wouldn't agree with either. So.
Yeah, exactly right.
I can't. I'm trying to justify Kevin's line of play if he's not playing Gwyber.
Yeah, sitting on your back for the whole game and being reactive is just a terrible strategy. You can't be reactive, especially in an event like this. And again, Kevin has just been reactive this whole time. Look at him right now.
Even on the play, he's been reactive. You're right.
It's actually on the play both times, correct?
Yes, it's true.
And it's unfortunately, if you can't.
Yep, there it is. This is why I love. This is why I love buffing Lancelot, either the rapid growth with the Hector, and it goes off on a turn. You play it. You also ping something for 700. Gawain's not a threat.
And that's the thing, exactly right.
But if you had green, like it adds a lot more flavor to your deck.
Here's the thing: in a format like this where there's no real hard removal, Lancelot does a lot of work, and that's why I think the Hector Lancelot combo is just seeing so much play right now with Bow, Demon Flame. It's just having that hard removal in this format is just so strong. And it's so hard not to justify taking.
Yeah, and that's why we're seeing every deck playing Lancelot. Every deck.
Oh, thank God, he got Maribel.
Oh man!
By the way, I didn't see a Gwyber out of those 5 cards either.
Yeah, I didn't see the Gwyber either.
Yeah, so Aqua. Actually, I think you're exactly right. I think he did opt to utilize Bellevue instead of the Gwyber, which I just.
It's something I really don't agree with. Like you can have Bellevue in your deck too, but at the cost of throwing out a win con like Gwyber, it's not worth.
To be fair, Bellevue is actually pretty decent on the draw because if they draw Gwyber on turn 3, you can respond in kind with the Bellevue on turn 3 yourself.
Exactly. I mean, you just completely knock out one of their win cons, and they're probably sitting at a very limited hand selection right there.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I don't want to dog Kevin out too much. He got to Worlds. He's here. He was probably undefeated in the round 5, but. I just opting out of Guiber is just I could never justify that. I'm honestly baffled by that decision making. So
I'm baffled. I'm impressed.
that's
5-0,
I'm not even
4-0,
mad. Yeah,
so-
that's amazing. I mean, I guess Kevin's doing something right, but yeah, I feel like there's an optimal line of play here for Ricardo right now, and he's got a counter on each bow, so he can effectively kill basically anything if he swings for that lance. And to be honest, he's still got 3 open. He can hit Kevin for 900 if he wants to. He's got another lance in his hand, which again, to be honest, I wouldn't be afraid to play it either.
I would just swing in. Yeah, exactly. There's no point.
Yeah, of course he needs.
Right now.
Yeah, of course he needs.
So
to swing
seeing
right
what
now.
happens.
Yeah, he needs to see if he wants to block with Bedivere. If he blocks with Bedivere, you pump it.
Is that a Bedivere or Bedivere and Percival?
Yeah.
And Ricardo does have the Gawain, so he's 800. He might have, in my mind, I would have probably pumped it twice, pinged the Percival. Well, no.
Yeah, and then make him sag in response, of course.
He's forced to sag in response, but then his Bedivere would just trade. He's going to trade anyway, so
yeah,
he might as well. Yeah, he did the right play.
Yeah.
Keeping it. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, no surprise there. So they bounce.
Yep.
And then, yeah, actually that's true. And then Ricardo's actually going to swing in probably with the other lance as well. Because, again, he has the Gawain. I don't see why. I mean, he's not really afraid of any damage. He's got that Gawain in play, so he's going to be an 800.
Yeah, just really play what you got.
Yeah, play what you could. Put that pressure on. Again, there's no real hard removal. What's he going to do?
He'll threaten. Yeah, he'll threaten game next turn. He's got 2 Artemis bow. There's no reason.
Yeah, he needs to start that clock. I mean, there's already clock in play right now.
He's going to stop it. He started. I mean, he just has complete dominance on the boards there right now.
Yeah.
Swing into life. Of course, you can block with the Rukek. Yep.
Yeah, no surprise. I guess.
Okay. I mean, it's not necessary per se, but
I feel like he's just rubbing sand in his wounds, man. There's again that was.
I would have kept
Yeah,
I would have.
Having 2 open is just too strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, having 2 bows open answers a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, that's exactly he messed up because now I mean, Kevin does have that lance. He has that Gawain. Having 2 bows open, solves a lot of issues where he's not going to have that ability to preemptively kill something before it swings into maybe his lance. Even if he blocks with Gawain.
I mean, even 600 damage. I don't think 600 is worth it.
Well, to be fair,
he's gonna drop the other one and go 8-4.
Well, that's the problem, man. He's gonna drop the lance next turn with the Hector, and then he's gonna ping the Gawain, and then probably swing into lance, right?
What's gonna happen is actually he's gonna drop the what's it called, the Lancelot right now, and swing in for another 9.
Yeah, no, Ricardo should for sure. I don't see why he wouldn't.
You're talking about Okay.
I'm saying Kevin. When Ricardo passes the turn and goes to Kevin, Kevin's going to drop the lance, play Hector for 1, and then he's gonna ping the Gawain and then swing into the lance. And the problem is Ricardo messed up. There was no reason to ping that egg to get 400 damage through. That was ridiculous.
That a little fairy at the end? What is that? The 3/3 fairy flying?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh, Kevin.
I don't know why you're playing that. There's so many better options. And the thing is, why would you play that without the Guiber?
Right.
You might be playing Guiber then. I mean, maybe he just hasn't hit it yet. I don't know.
Yeah, man, he's totally not hit Guiber. He's gone through 40+ cards and hasn't hit Guiber, man.
So now Bedivere. Oh no. What
is he? What?
So
did he just wait? What? Did he just?
He retracted his play. So Ricardo actually, this is the second. Oh, I guess he just retracted a play here. What should have happened? I think Kevin's so much on tilt, and he's just.
Oh my God! What did he just do? Why didn't he play the lance with the Hector? What is he doing?
Saying he did that, but now I think they're. Oh no.
What?
Okay, there we go. He did play that, so you can't take that back. So Ricardo is okay now. Now he's just going through the motions.
Wow! Look at Ricardo's face. He's like, "What just happened?"
I just misplayed.
Yeah,
that's what he's thinking.
Ricardo?
Yeah, because Ricardo. Okay, so
he shouldn't. Yeah, he should have had double bow. Yeah, that was the dumbest.
No, it wasn't just a double bow. It was the.
Wow, Kevin could pull this out because Ricardo misplayed.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's an incredible turn.
Welcome to Worlds, boys. Holy jeebs, this is actually unreal. And to be honest, I mean,
Oh my god, that was pretty crazy. Like he
had no. Honestly, I thought he had no way to lose.
He forgot that
Gawain tapped something down.
no, Gawain gave a bonus to what's it called, and that's why he survived.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, well, I'm gonna swing in for 3 plus the 4 damage from my bow should kill your guy. But Kevin already played the Gawain, giving his guy +2/+2, so now it's a 9/9 opposed to a 7/7. And Ricardo calculated 7/7, so he's like,
oh my god.
And that's why I wouldn't have tapped the bow out, because earlier.
Well, yeah, he needed the double bow.
He needed the double
and
bow.
That's like there was again he was just rubbing salt into Kevin's wounds for no reason because he felt so confident. And now he's like, what have I done?
You have to sometimes you have to be willing to
you
trade.
need to play conservatively.
Well, not even conservatively. You need to be able to know what you can afford to take and what you can afford to dish out. Having 600 damage, but having this bow still up, I think would have been a lot more beneficial in your favor than providing 600. 600 damage is not that game changing,
especially when you're 31 to 18. You know what I mean?
Board state is a lot more important here.
That was a huge waste. And you know, folks at home, that's honestly the most interesting thing about this. And this is
I hope Kevin can pull. Yeah, I can really. I hope Kevin can pull this out. But just looking at the positioning, it's still really difficult. He's got a long way to go. 3,112.
Well, and to be fair, Ricardo still has Guivers and Drags, and I'm pretty certain.
Well, he only has one card in hand. Ricardo has one card in hand, a Guinevere. Yeah. While Kevin's sitting there with
Well, Kevin doesn't really have much either, to be honest.
He doesn't, but he can pretend like he's got options.
Not if he keeps playing Mary Bells.
or stuff like that, where they don't add any positioning to your
attack. Swing for 11?
I would conserve the Hector here and just dish out what I can and bring out the 3/3 blocker.
I guess he's trying to start a clock. I mean, I don't know.
He is, but because the following turn he can dish out a total of 11 plus 3.
This is why you don't play Mary Bell.
If you really want to threaten, I would have probably dropped the second Belvedere, but he wants to conserve it. But
why? Why would he play that when he has a Guinevere? He should have saved that to discard it. He doesn't need it. It's a dead card. That's ridiculous. Ricardo, what are you doing? Wow. Yeah. That's unreal. Like, literally, it's a dead card. And here's the thing.
Oh, okay. So it's not this. It's the Herald of the Winged. Wow. It's a counter to fire.
I mean, that's clever.
That is very clever. Yeah. If you're spending a lot of fire, you play Herald the Winged Lord.
I mean, it infinitely blocks Drag, and it infinitely blocks just everything. Yeah.
Garrett. Yeah, Drag, Lancelot.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that's actually a pretty clever sideboard card, to be honest.
Still 6/6. It's kind of a weak body. I couldn't justify playing that. That should be a Guiver, honestly, if he's not playing the Guivers.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, those Bedivere. I mean, there's a lot of things Kevin should be playing for Guiver, but, you know, again, and that's the thing being at Worlds, folks, is if, you know, one misplay can literally cost you the entire match. And I think we saw that already. You know, during game 1, Kevin misplayed.
Okay, the Mary Bell here is actually really beneficial because you have a secondary effect of paying 5 to bring in 1,000.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, fair enough. I did forget about that.
Mary Bell, we're putting in work here. I still don't agree with it. Like, I think there's better choices than the Mary Bell.
No, I agree too. I think it is kind of a dead card. I mean, again, these players are just so scared of Bo, and they just shouldn't be. You know what I mean? It's one of those cards that they're either going to have it or they're not. And look right now, Ricardo has 2 bows in play, but they have no counters.
But what else? Look how many what turn they're on. Like, Kevin here has 8 stones. Like, if you're playing 8 stones, you should be able to threaten Fatal very easily. And with the Power Supply team, on the Guiver, or Drag, like you're playing dragons, like
this is tragic.
It's a dragon format.
And to be honest,
Dragon Knight format.
Yeah, it's round 5. You know, these guys, All
right, well, Kevin's putting pressure on the board.
Let's see if Ricardo can top deck here. I mean,
even if he top decks something, he's probably have to sack off. Well, if he can't top deck anything here, he's gonna have to sack off the Guinevere before he untaps everything, in anticipation of something stronger.
Yeah, of course.
There it is. Okay, he's sacking off the Guinevere.
Yeah, so he's going to rest his Guinevere in order to draw 2 cards and discard 1. So he's actually
rest and banish. Yep.
Yeah, rest and banish. So he's digging to see if he can get a better answer.
Okay, Ricardo. Let's see what you got. So you have a Lancelot. You shot 12.
Wow, that's actually
Gwyber, that's a very good play.
that's actually a super nice top deck. So he got the Gwyber, he got the Lance.
That's
That's
he
actually
needed the Gwyber badly. So Gwyber's gonna cost 3, Lance is gonna cost 2, totally fine.
Oh man, and he could swing in for 1,000 damage, and then he could ping something for actually yeah he could, because he can't block with the Gareth, right? Because the Lance will just kill it, right?
Yep. Actually, the Lance.
Yeah, because the Lance
Okay,
would be
so let's think about this for a
yeah.
second. Lance could swing in. How much mana does he have right now? He should have 8 total.
Yeah,
So Ricardo could have 8. 300. So he wouldn't be able to use both Lance, Gwyber, and Lance's effects.
but I think the play here, yeah, is to just be huge for sure.
So he's swinging in. He's going to try to kill off. Yep. Now, if he doesn't block, he is forced to block here.
He's forced to block, otherwise it's game. He has
Exactly,
to block.
he has to block. Okay, so for those of you that don't understand, right now, Lancelot's 1,000. He could.
He's pinging the Bedivere.
And then he's going to swing in the life. If he accepts it, he's going to tap out 2 for game. And he accepted it.
Oh my
Another
god,
misplay by
dude! Look at
Kevin.
his face. Look at his face. Oh my god, he just let it happen. What? Well, welcome to the show, kid. Wow, I'm unbelievable.
Wow, that was incredible. He had a huge misplay on Kevin's part. He could have probably. He was still in it.
He was actually totally fine.
He as long as he didn't
if he had
blocked with Gareth.
If he had won, yeah, if he
it would have forced a trade right there.
Yeah,
and so I mean, Kevin
he would have been.
Kevin could have played anything else. It's astounding. I mean, sorry, Carr couldn't play anything else because he didn't have enough mana for the Gwyber.
Unbelievable.
By accepting the damage. Wow, I'm
floored. Welcome to
I think Ricardo. I think he was thinking that, oh, I'm gonna accept the damage, and I'm gonna go ahead and threaten OTK next turn because I have the game if I accept the damage. But he didn't calculate the additional 200 from Lancelot, and that was a huge misplay. A huge misplay.
I mean, it was so huge it cost him the game.
Oh my god, Kevin misplayed a number of times this match.
I mean, so did Ricardo, though. To be fair, and that's the thing.
Ricardo, I think played pretty well for the most part.
Sometimes all it comes down to is who made less misplays.
Yeah, at this level, I think.
Yeah,
it's even at this level.
And to be fair, they're not always misplays. They're just not the most optimal.
Okay, when we say misplay, I'm always looking at the line of play. You're missing the most optimal line of play. And in my eyes, if you don't hit that line of the most optimal line of play, you're often misplay because you just capitalize on that one minor mistake that you didn't go for that most optimal line of play. Your opponent has a chance to like recover or bounce back.
Man, that's too bad. You know, and honestly, I was rooting for Kevin. I didn't want to say anything during the match just because I'm pretty certain he's American or Canadian, and mad respect, bro. But man, Ricardo, man, those Italians just pulled it out.
Yeah, that was. I mean, to be fair,
I'm not even.
I'm impressed with Ricardo. Like, yeah, he definitely pulled that one out.
And Kevin, congrats on making it this far as well, utilizing a deck without Gwyber. To be honest, again, I know we were dogging you out during the match, but like, well done. You know, I think it speaks a lot for you as a player.
I agree.
And to be honest, again, I think what Aqua was saying earlier, I think it's just like being on camera, just those jitters like can mess you up. You know.
Yeah, and it's possible that maybe Kevin he just got nervous that round, but I mean, it happens sometimes. You get the jitters get the best of you, and he just end up flooring it. And I think that's what we saw here.
Yeah, for sure. Nice deck box, bro. Is that pink? Hell yeah,
not
dude.
my choice, but
hell yeah.
But it goes with his pink pants.
So I guess we're actually gonna fast forward here a little bit. I know again you folks are watching us from home. We're coming back at you a day after, so when I watch this live, so we actually have the ability to go forward to immediately round 6. So we're gonna actually opt to do that, I think, right, Aqua?
Okay, let's go ahead and cut straight to round 6 here.
Yeah, let's see if we can find it. So it looks like there's some stuff going on in the stream. Maybe giving some stuff away.
Oh my god, I'm still floored. Kevin's misplay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right, sweet guys. So it looks like we have round 6 here. 60 minutes. Open it up. Oh, Core TCG actually is represented here at the Force of Will Worlds. That's interesting. There's actually a few teams being represented at the World Championships. There's a few Italian teams. There's actually a fair amount of American teams as well. You actually have Forcible Taverners there. Obviously, we have Core TCG, Flip Matters. Who else is there that's being represented as well?
I don't know. Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know. Oh, J Activate.
J Activate, that's it.
J Activate.com has one of their star players, Ryan Valentino, playing. So
Ryan Valentino.
from what I hear, he's their standout player.
Yeah, to be honest, going into this event, I really felt like the United States probably had the strongest lineup, taking nothing away from the other regions. And actually, Aqua, going into round 6, let's talk about the other regions and kind of their strengths that we've seen building up to the world's scene.
Honestly, I don't have too much to say. I mean, most of it is Blazer.
I meant in regards to the regionals and the events making its way during this past season.
Oh, you probably know more about that than I do, honestly. I know Italy didn't have access to the regalias and most of the star deck cards until recently.
That being said, actually, I think the United States did have a distinct advantage going into Worlds here because they did have time to utilize the regalia in the format prior to moving to Worlds. Also, it was actually interesting to see the way the meta evolved leading up to this Season 2 Worlds as well.
Okay.
We saw a lot of aggressive decks from the Japanese meta, and that was really interesting because, we saw things like Bloody Grim and Odd Grow that really shaped the meta. Split Heaven and Earth, seeing a lot of play as well, Bahamut Burn, and honestly, a lot of people really liked that format. And then you started to see...
We kind of knew what power spikes were there, but sometimes it's also best to kind of look at things from a blank slate, so you see every single piece of the puzzle from an unbiased point of view. Because from our point of view, we saw the power of Lancelot right away.
Yeah.
So in essence, I think we had a little bias towards Lancelot, but it did prove to be the powerhouse card it is. We had a little bias towards like Wyber, but at the same time, it did prove to be. But if, let's say, like SKL introduced some more powerful elements that outshine these cards, maybe some Americans might have had a little more bias towards the previous cards because of the previous power spikes we saw, but they might not necessarily always carry over into the format you're looking into. So
that's a very good point, Aqua. And actually, I appreciate you saying that. Looks like things are lagging a little bit on the stream itself.
You might have to refresh it. So.
Yeah, folks, I think we're actually going to have to refresh this. One moment. 5 hours in. All right, come on, listen. Okay, awesome. Yeah, there we go, folks. So looks like the stream is fully loaded now. Moving forward into round 6. So this is actually the final round of Swiss in Worlds. So doing a player cam right now, actually showing this gentleman. Looks like the United States versus probably another player from Italy, to be honest. Well, maybe actually. I'm not exactly certain. Actually, Core TCG, that might be 2 American players going at it as well. Again, I would not be surprised, considering there were 47 Blazers going into this event, that this would be another Blazer red-white mirror match as well.
Okay, we have definitely I love the sleeves there. The American flag.
America.
America.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a lot of milling about, but the round has officially started. So going into it 30 seconds into the round and still haven't revealed their rulers. Very excited, though, to see how this plays out. It looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here. Let me see if I can fast forward a little bit. Okay, and I think we're good. Yeah, it was just that one area was having a difficult time.
All right, guys, we're back. And
loading up. Yeah, so again, no surprise there. So clearly this is going to be another Blazer
versus Blazer
mirror match.
Yep, Blazer.
Yeah, so again, we hate to sound unenthusiastic, but to be honest, I was expecting more from the player base at Worlds. I think Blazer White was an obvious choice, but I think there were ways to to be honest, I think Rezard was a reasonable choice, to be honest, against Blazer, and I think it actually does very well in this meta. In fact, our playtesting honestly found that I think Rezard was the strongest deck outside of.
I agree. I think that
Blazer
definitely we just see a lot of the very basic stuff here. We don't see too much outside of it, but I mean, that's not to say like other players playtesting couldn't find something different. So here we're gonna see. Oh wow, look at that!
Wow, that's a nice
lot.
spread. Yeah, and actually Thomas Wilkinson actually already has a bow in his hand. So to be honest, I'd probably opt for the bow
I would
just to have double bow
second,
pressure.
Yeah, but he wants Lancelot. He wants a turn 2 play. Like the
That's
Gawain, I definitely would have gone into the second.
the second bow. Yeah, I mean he already has a strong turn 2. You know, he has the Demon Flame. I mean, I guess he wants that early aggression. I wouldn't have done it. Now
So
I
looking at
actually,
Robert's build, I don't think he might not play. No, he might not play Guai. Well,
okay. Let's not speak too soon. This isn't again Kevin we're talking about here, but he does have one main deck Snow White, and I know.
looking at the curvature, I mean, everything looks a little bit high.
He might be playing some sort of mid range.
Gleipnir. Okay, we have Gleipnir. Okay.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I like this build. At least it's unique. So Robert, with non-withholding, I like the build you're running because at least you have a take on this that we haven't seen from any other players on stream yet. So kudos to you, my man. I know a lot of players were really talking up the Flame King shout into Snow White, and I honestly think that's a strong play.
It's a very strong play because what happens is you ping everything for 400. In this current meta, you probably board wipe almost everything, and then with the additional 300, you're able to snipe off the remainder.
Oh wow! Well, at least we know that. I mean, he is wearing white, so I assume he's wearing Percival, and I think it's a good assumption. We're probably going to see Blazer here as well.
Okay, there's the Gawain. With that being said, I probably would have picked up the bow. But that's just me. Well, he does have a Hector, so it does synergize really well.
Okay, yeah.
He's going for the turn 3. Turn 3 play here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I don't know. I still feel like I'd probably want the bow because it's just the pressure that double bow gives you is just so much.
It's a lot of pressure,
and it's so hard to deal with as well. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like that's 2 destruction essentially. Like, there's nothing that Robert could play that would get through double bow.
So here, okay. So he's going to go ahead and drop the
Guinevere.
Drop the Guinevere, and he's going to maintain the Demon Flame for backup. So
yeah, but again, I just I don't know. I understand why. There's no reason to play double Guinevere, and there's I don't know. I just feel to be honest, I think Robert might not have drawn very well as well. He has a lot of 3 drops in his hand between the Snow White, the Demon Flame, or the Flame King shout, and he's got the lances and stuff too. Yeah, so this is where Thomas is going to go off and just kind of like, bend Robert over, so to speak. And it's going to be hard to recover from this. He's got that bow, which of course he shouldn't utilize. He's going to want to save it with the Demon Flame. But yeah, Hector's actually going to pump up that Lancelot in order to get him to 1,000 attack. And then Lancelot, when he swings,
he will be able to ping something for 700 damage. That's going to probably take out any resonator, obviously. So he's going to target he's definitely going to target the
Guinevere. Actually, I don't know. I think it can go either way. I mean, if he hits the Percival, I mean the thing is, a lot of players have been seeing a lot of value from the Percivals, so I wouldn't be surprised if he targets that.
He's gonna sack off,
and then he can.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because now he's gonna see what he's gonna do is he's gonna swing straight into the Guinevere if.
Yeah, he's trying to bait. He's trying to bait.
So he'll be able to kill off both of them. So okay.
Yeah,
we're having some buffering issues here.
No, we're good. We're good. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was. I mean, wow. That's. I don't think I would have done that if I was Robert, to be honest. Because now he's just leaving his Guinevere open to die.
Okay, but he got the Gleipnir. Gleipnir's great on the play. Honestly, I would consider Gleipnir a strong sideboard card. But I don't see Artemis Bow, and I'm wondering if he opted with the Gleipnir over the Artemis Bow. And in testing, I don't think Snow White came out that positive in strength either. So.
Yeah, and to be honest, again, I just feel like, even Gareth, there's just a lot of better 3-drops, even Bedivere, that I probably would have opted over the Snow White. But I mean, a lot of players just saw a lot of strength in Flame of King Shout with the Snow White. So I understand the reasoning behind it, but I don't necessarily agree with it.
Yeah, but that also, I guess that also makes it so you're not as dependent on the Gwyber, which makes it so you're less susceptible to an opponent's Flame King Shout. So it's just mind games from there.
Yeah, true, but he's just gonna swing in with a Percival. Goodbye. To be honest, I don't think I would have rested the Guinevere.
Oh, I agree.
Just draw a card, I would have just waited. Because now he just board wiped him. You know what I mean? And
there's no reason for it.
Yeah, Tom's just sitting there. He's looking pretty, and there's not much that Robert can really do in order to respond to this. Again, folks, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Just having slight buffering issues, but we actually have the other streams loaded for the top 8 in Worlds, and we'll be doing those shortly after this video concludes. So going into this, I feel like it's going to be really difficult for Robert to really respond. I mean, I know he has a lot of cards, and he does have the Flame King Shout with that Snow White.
Shout is going to try to. Oof. We should honestly just let this wait. We can just do a cut segment. Can we keep going?
Yeah, we're fine.
Okay, so Flame King Shout came out. Snow White pings the Lancelot to finish off the Lancelot, looks like. Oh, and I'm not sure what happened. Oh, he went off and pinged the Gawain. Okay, and he swung into, oh yeah, makes sense. He swung into the Lancelot, so that literally board wipes his entire field.
Wow, clever. So actually, they're trading in kind. So actually, this is actually probably the most intense match that we've seen between two players up to this point. And it's no surprise that it is happening during round 6. Also, Aqua, Snow White, the Valkyrie of Passion is probably your favorite artwork, is it not?
It definitely is. Definitely one of those. I like the fact that she's holding a sword and she's.
It's also really cool to me too because it looks like almost like she has like a different cards, like in her hair, like they look like diamonds of hearts. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so definitely a little bit of lore sneaking in there as well. So Thomas is actually going to opt to play the Gareth, which actually I adamantly agree with. Also, look at the card in the far left that actually looks like a Judgment of the Queen, which is one of my favorite cards actually that I think was very underplayed. I mean, the fact that it buffs all of your creatures by +4/+4 and rests down anything in the field does not have to be a resonator.
That's one of my favorite cards too. So
yeah, it's very powerful, and especially if you're utilizing something like Gwyber, you're dropping a lot of 1-drops, and then coupled with the +2/+2 for your knights from Gawain, you're seeing a lot of power to your low cost friend.
Yeah. Also, and plus now they can trade up, so you can have a 4. You have a Percival that comes out to be something like an 8/8 with a Gawain on the field. That 8/8 can swing into just about anything.
I'm actually really, I really like the dynamic between these players because you can see they're both very calculated. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these players are actually X and 1, just because I feel like there's a lot of tension in play right now. I feel like if I was at the top table and I was on stream going to an event and I knew I was going to make top 8, I'd be having a good time. I'd be joking. I'd be laughing. This is Worlds. Even though it's a very competitive environment, knowing you have a guaranteed spot at the top 8, that's when it's time to just.
It's possible that both other XO players have already previously been on stream, so they chose another X1 player. So.
Yeah, and exactly. And that's what I'm thinking. I think it's very possible that both these players are actually X and 1, and that's why they're both so concentrated on the win right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a more high-intense situation than it would be for an XO match. So
I mean, you always want to win, but the thing is, going into this matchup, it's a game. Games are meant to have fun, and you want to have a good time. And to be honest, it looks like both these players have interesting builds. Thomas is playing, Judgment of the Queen. Robert's, utilizing Gleipnir's.
Looks like Gawain came out along with Lancelot. Lancelot's going to be an 8/8, so.
Yeah, that is a fat lance.
That is a fat lance. That's definitely. So what Lancelot's going to do is swing in the face here, I believe, and look to trade with Gareth. I don't think he's going to take the bait.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, if he does that, it's a terrible misplay. There's no reason to block the lance. I think you take the 8. I mean, you're at 4,000 again. Like we always say.
Yeah, we'll accept the damage.
What is life but a resource?
Exactly.
Yeah, so Thomas should be just accepting that 8. Yeah, and there's Gareth right there, the Dauntless Knight. And actually, I think he might see some play actually coming up. He's a solid 3-drop.
He's definitely he can
even in the next
thunders
set. Yeah, to be honest, like he's just a fat body. He's just one. I mean, he's just a good 3-drop.
I mean, yeah, with target tag 2 plus, if in conjunction with like something like Flame King Shout, you have target tag plus dealing 400 to all of your opponent's resonators.
Yeah,
it's a solid board wipe.
Yeah, Gareth is a strong card, especially in this meta too. I mean, Gareth is one of those cards that I feel like everyone kind of saw. And to be honest, the one thing I like about Kevin's build from the last match was that he was utilizing the Angel that prevented damage from fire resonators. I think that was a very clever.
That was definitely very clever. I don't know how I feel about. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how strongly I feel about that, but at the same time, I
Gwyber
do
would
think
have been better.
Yeah, I think bypassing that Gwyber is just huge. But looks like these players both might have done the same thing. And who knows, maybe the consistency that you have with all the strong 3-drops in the current game with like Snow White and Gareth do outscore having the Gwyver, because I mean Gwyver requires you to run low drops in order to offset that, and that makes you susceptible to Flame King Shout. So
hard to justify not playing Gwyver Aqua.
Yeah.
Nice. I appreciate the condolences for these deck builders and Worlds competitors, but I can't agree with you, my man.
I mean, I agree to some extent, but at the same time, I do see here
the reasoning is sound. I get it, but I just don't think they're right.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. Now, again, look at Robert, and he has yet to play his Gleipnir because he has no reason to. Now, and that's
exactly the right play.
Yeah, that's an important distinction. And just remember, we were talking about last round when Kevin was utilizing, he played his Maribel basically instantaneously. There's no reason to do that. You want to hold information.
Yeah, exactly. If it's one more threat to kind of consider when you're playing up against your opponents. So
also, it looks like Robert actually has 5 cards in his hand versus Thomas's 2. And beyond Thomas's Gareth, I feel like Robert's actually in a much safer position right now. Just
Robert
is card advantage.
But I don't know if there comes the Hector out. Okay, so Hector's gonna buff Snow White. Snow White's gonna swing into Gareth, but it's gonna be forcing a trade. It will ping the Rook Egg, so there can be no blockers.
Yes.
So, but he can still swing in with a second Snow White too, charge it with a counter. So, yep, that's happening right there.
Yeah, great analysis, Aqua. And yeah, so he has to respect that. And then honestly, great play by Robert. That was a very intelligent utilization of Snow White and Hector, and just Hector such a strong resonator.
Definitely. If he has a single tech Drake, he might be able to search out for it here. Just because you're limited on what you have in your hand.
Ooh.
Lancelot's not a bad play either.
Lancelot's not a bad play, but Drake is definitely superior. I mean, what else would he do? Yeah. I mean, just being able to play a 12-12, even if it's on turn 5, that's still fat, And the thing about playing those 12-12s in this format, during
especially when you have 3 cards at hand, that's the problem. Like when you have 2 cards, adding a third, like you need to have something that can kind of maintain consistency on the field. Oh my gosh!
Well, to be fair,
that's a protection of Seraph. He drew into protection of Seraph. One of my favorite cards.
Wow, Aqua, you're gonna be all right, man. You're about to mess yourself. This is protection of Seraph. This is like Aqua's favorite card in the entire game.
It was not in the entire game, but it's definitely one of the strongest cards. If you guys like what's the card called where the vampire protection card,
Crucifix, yeah.
Yeah, if you like Crucifix, you like this card. This costs 1, provides the same effect as Crucifix, plus it can't be attacked. So it basically you equip it to something, and my God, you have basically absolute protection on it. The only thing you can do is block.
So now Thomas made a really good play here. So he actually opted not to play, the protection of Seraph. He didn't opt to play the second Lance. He's holding those cards in his hand, and he's utilizing Lance the way it should be utilized, which is he just pings something for 7. Brilliant play, and that's definitely what he should have done. So all he did there was he pinged I believe the Guinevere, and then he swung. I believe so. He's swinging into the I want to say Snow White. Because again, I think he's trying to play catch up right here if he can get a 2-for-1. So yeah, so there's the 2-for-1 from that Lance, which again I think that was brilliant on Thomas's part. And the thing about Thomas right now too is he has a lot of damage on board. He actually is a Judgment of the Queen, and what he can do is he can play both Lancelots, right? Rest one of Robert's Resonators and put both of those Lancelots at 10-10. So he's going to be doing 1,400 damage. Or 7 to 2 different Resonators, any which way he wants, which is just absolutely outrageous.
That is pretty good. So,
and I think that's the play we're going to see maybe next turn.
So he's going to go ahead and kill off the Lancelot here, swing into it, ping it for 3, and attack into it for first strike for 5.
Yeah, first strike, very underrated mechanic. Very strong here.
He's playing the Gawain. There we go. Second Snow White's going to come out now.
Yeah, and actually Robert really, just controlling board state.
Yeah, he's just controlling board state. He's going to drop. Yep, here we go. Here comes the second Snow White, I believe. No, he doesn't want to. If you play the second Snow White, I don't see a reason for not to play second Snow White.
I agree. I think second Snow White should hit the board here. It's free damage.
He's commanding lead right now, and he starts charging the Snow White basically. So it acts as a secondary removal. While on the field, look at that. Yeah, it's gonna be another 5 damage right there.
Let's see if he adds the counter to it, which he does.
He will, of course.
Good player.
Yep. All right. So both players looking to swipe the life counter. There we go.
Yeah, to be honest, Aqua, how do you feel about who do you think's going to take this game?
Honestly, I'm very impressed with both players' line of play. Just looking at the hand advantage right now and the board state, I'm going to have to say I feel very strongly Thomas, I feel, is going to take this game right here. Thomas is the one with the Snow Whites.
No. That's
Oh,
Robert.
sorry. Robert.
I was like, wow, that's an interesting.
No,
analysis.
sorry. Yeah, I get confused with all these zigzags. It's
Yeah, these
confusing with the
crazy
face
angles,
backslash.
The way you have to look at it is Robert is looking at Thomas because those are his cards.
Yeah. I see that.
So these are his cards. Like I get it. Chozen, calm down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Robert has board state, hand state, and he's definitely doing it.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think it'd be almost impossible for Thomas to come back from this.
Protection of Seraph.
I mean that's cool, but what is that? You know what I mean?
Yep, he's gonna go ahead and ping the Snow White. Yep, for 7. You have to handle that threat right now. No, actually, I would say yeah. Okay, well, I guess he did. He is forced. Yep. So he blocked it too because he didn't want to accept the 1,000 damage because he was afraid that next turn he might be starting fatal.
But doesn't Thomas have like one card in his hand? Also, why didn't
Thomas? I think he has 2 cards in his hand right now. I believe Thomas has 2 cards in hand.
I think he swung into the other Snow White as well.
Oh, he has 2 cards. Look at it. That's 2. Yep.
Okay, yeah. I think Thomas actually swung into the other Snow White, and that's why he blocked with the.
Oh, he swung into the other Snow White.
Yeah, so he pinged one Snow White and swung into the other
7.
one.
Okay.
And that's clear. I mean, that's why he would have blocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which makes a
sense.
lot of sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a few lines of play right now, to be honest. But I think what needs to happen is he needs to kill that Lance.
There's no way to kill the Lance though.
I thought you could still attack into Protection of Seraph.
You can't attack. You have to the only way you can get deal with is by blocking.
Oh wow, okay.
So there's really no
that's
way.
very strong.
Yep, Protection of Seraph might just take this game away from here.
It just stole it away. That's one card in the deck, but I think Thomas made a good decision there.
Yeah, I mean, Tekken 2, I think it'll win you the match. So
I mean, if the thing with Protection of Seraph is it's in this situation. This is probably the only situation I've actually seen it not be used as a win more card. Normally, Protection of Seraph is one of those things.
I feel like because especially if games go late, like it's such an amazing card because.
Well, yeah, especially with Lance, deal with this.
Lancelot or Gwyber or Gareth, even like I don't like it on Gareth, but Lancelot and Gwyber are like definitely 2 prime targets for it.
So, I mean, to be honest, I think it's most optimal on Lancelot because you continue to pump it and
you can. But Gwyber is still 12-12. You can't deal with that 12-12 anymore.
That's very true too. I mean, I think they're both very optimal targets. I just, me and I'm a Lancelot fanboy.
I'm not saying what's it called, Artemis is on either of these players, which is a little bit surprising.
Well, to be fair, Thomas already utilized his bow.
Okay, so he went out and pinged. Oh, he actually swung at face. Is he leaving 3 up for the?
I guess he's gonna play. I don't know. I'd probably drop Gareth. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
wow,
so,
it looks. You know what? We were leaning toward Robert here, but it looks like Thomas has stolen this game away. I'm actually really impressed here.
Yeah, both players. I mean, these guys are definitely both really strong players here.
This is a great round 6
It's because
match.
of the Protection of Seraph. I told you, I love that card for a reason.
It is very powerful.
Extremely powerful, and this is why I actually had 2 in my variants. So
I think Robert actually has to scoop here. I don't think there's anything he can do to come back. He's got a Flame King shot. What does that even do?
Flame King shot. Yeah, it's not
seriously.
Really do much.
I guess he's going to use it to give Gareth swiftness. That's all he can do. That's awful. That is terrible. Wow. I guess he's going to Flame King shout. Play the Gareth into a Hector. You know what I mean? To be honest, this is what I would do. I would play Hector, pump one of my opponent's resonators, and then I would play Bedivere.
That's exactly what's happening. So he's going to go ahead and pump the Gareth, drop 3 for the Bedivere, snipe the Gareth.
Or not. What are you doing, man? Yep, there's the Bedivere, maybe. Yep. No.
He's one confirm. I think that
you can utilize it on your opponent's resonators.
Yep, and it can be 100%.
Oh, so actually, Robert's still in this game. Yeah.
I don't think so because I don't think. Well.
No.
He is. You're right.
Yeah, he's swinging into that. You know what I mean? I still think he's up.
He attacks into okay, and he kills it. Oh, very very nice because at the 400 from Flame King Shout.
And there's the second Hector.
Why would he drop the second Hector?
He wants it to die to Lance's effect. Don't you know? what does he do? I don't know.
I think he was just really afraid of having a second Lancelot come out and seal the game.
That's reasonable, I guess. But
It is. You always calculate the potential play. So this match right here is probably one of the best matches I've seen all day.
By far, absolutely.
Both players here definitely deserve their spot at Worlds and earned it.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is probably the best play that we've seen so far at Worlds, and that's game.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, honestly, that was a great play. I'm very impressed by the way that Thomas and Robert played that out. And to be honest, like we said, we predicted Robert had that.
It literally came down to every card in hand, every card in the field, every possible trigger, using the cards in the most optimal way.
And yeah,
both players definitely pulled that off.
Yeah, I'm extremely impressed here by the lines of plays from both players. It's rare to see two players this skilled play each other. In non-world events, so to speak. And, this is why it's so great to see players like this come together for one large competition.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're seeing them siding out, depending on if they're on the draw or in the play, which is exactly what you have to do in these situations, especially in the mirror match, because if you're playing on the draw, Flame King Shout becomes gains more value, basically. If you're on the play, Flame King Shout isn't as detrimental. There are better lines to play, like the Gwyver, for instance. But we'll see. We'll see what each player sides into.
Now, Aqua, what do you anticipate this? I mean, so we pretty certain we didn't see any Gwybers, right?
Yeah, no Gwybers here. Both players looking opted out for kind of a more of a rush-oriented deck. I don't know what to expect for the sideboard, honestly. Maybe more Flame King Shout if they don't have them maxed out already. Gareth, Snow White, possibly.
Maybe Drake.
It's possible, but
I mean, these games are going to extremely late game.
Yeah, I agree, but it's very possible we'll see Drake pop out. Well, it's very possible, but if they don't play one their main board, I doubt they're going to be playing him. 48 to 40, that's a pretty good advantage.
This is nuts. Yeah, real excited to see how this plays out. And actually, it's already 25 minutes into the round, so there's only 35 left. It could go to a draw, and both players could be, they could take that draw going into,
It's very possible, yeah, actually, if they keep this tempo up, so.
Now, that's actually an interesting distinction in Force of Will top 8ing. It's honestly, it's so easy to draw in this game. It doesn't go by life points. It doesn't go by totals. It just, if there's not a winner, both players are essentially losers,
Yeah.
And I honestly, I don't know how I feel about that going into an event like this, especially at Worlds. Because especially, there's a lot of factors like under, board state, hand state, whatever, and it's just, it's so easy to draw. I feel like a lot of players lose out on contention for top 8 because of draws.
So here we have, looks like Flame King Shout, Rukeg, and Gareth. He's got a pretty solid hand here. He's good until set turn 4 about.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Robert has Gleipnir, and we haven't seen it utilized yet. So
is Robert on the draw though? No, he's on.
No, Robert's on the play for sure. Yeah.
No, Robert's on the play here.
Yeah.
Being on the play, Gleipnir is such a huge threat.
Oh, absolutely.
So Lancelot, I would probably drop Gleipnir, swung in with my Guinevere, force the Rukeg to block, then swung in the life with Lancelot there.
He still can. Oh no, well yeah, he should have.
Because that would put a lot of pressure on the field.
He still can do it, but honestly, that was a misplay too because he could have blocked with the egg.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, but I guess I'm not sure exactly the reasoning behind not blocking with the egg.
Well, now Robert should. Yeah. Oh, did he not? Did he pass the turn? That was a huge misplay. There's no reason to keep that Guinevere up because your opponent, are they going to swing with a lance themselves? You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. So, if anything,
I think it's prior protection.
But to what, right?
Okay, so okay, he's just trying to get into more of a. Robert wants that advantage.
Yeah, Thomas is just playing that slow game. I mean, to be honest, like being on the draw here, I think Thomas is playing it correctly.
Yeah, especially when you
Robert-
got Flame King Shout. He's just baiting your opponent out. And then with the Gareth.
I don't know. Flame King Shot's pretty juicy right now. I'd probably do it, especially since he has 2. I think that's the obvious play here, and I don't see why not.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially considering he does have Snow White. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, he's just going to go ham, which is honestly a great play. So, in response,
sack itself.
yep, sack itself, drawing those cards. Yeah. Oh, wow. Double bow.
Double. Okay,
Wow.
the bows were sided, I feel.
Thomas
probably realized early on that in the tournament, he probably had bows in the sideboard and realized that they were really powerful. And
puts 4 of them in every game.
almost every game, too, he always probably sides them in.
I wonder.
Because I didn't see a single one, game 1 or 2.
And he did go through a fair
Game
amount of
1, yeah.
cards. Yeah, I'm actually wondering if I wonder how many players actually sideboarded Arla and 4 bows and then just opted out of the Arla and just put 4 bows in their decks.
Now, looking at his hand, though, like, he has 2 bows, 1 Flaming King Shout, 1 Gareth, and Protection of Seraph.
Oh,
I feel like you have to get rid of either Protection or the bow.
I would have taken care of. Honestly, I would have gotten rid of the Protection. I do not agree with that bow. I can't believe he just did that.
It's either Protection or the bow. So I mean,
I think Protection has to go here. I mean, bow is so strong. You know,
but
like
Protection
double
just
bow
wins
is so
the game
strong.
itself. So I mean, like Protection on like Gareth, there's no way to deal with it outside of. There's really no way to deal with it.
I mean, that's true. I mean, especially with the. But here's the thing. He could have just dropped his entire hand next turn. You know, he could have gone Flame King Shout into Gareth into double bow.
Okay,
you know,
I did see that.
And that's a fat play, and then your opponent just goes, well, I can't deal with your Gareth, and yep, that's it. You know what I mean?
Or he could have dropped the Gareth because he's gonna pick up.
Well, he's also gonna search his deck for 2 resonators. Yeah.
So he may drop the Gareth. Yeah. So you're right. I feel that was a less than optimal play, but
it's just double bow is so good. You know, I'm single bow.
It is. I agree, but especially when you're searching out with 2 root kegs, like you can drop one of the Gareths. It's fine.
For another Gareth if you really need.
Yeah, you can grab.
Yeah, I think Thomas actually massively misplayed there. To be honest,
I won't say massive, but I think it was definitely not as optimal.
Yeah.
The question is here.
Yeah. Wow.
Did Robert not swing last turn?
No, it's still his turn, I believe. Oh no,
he didn't. He didn't swing in.
What?
Well, I probably would have taken in the damage. I mean, when you have the aggression, you're forcing your opponent to.
Considering he's on the play as well, I don't understand why he wouldn't attack. It actually doesn't make any sense to me. I guess he doesn't want his opponent to like swing into something if he has, haste or swiftness, but yeah, I guess,
I guess he was fearing the Flame King Shout into a Snow White, and then he thought that would probably board wipe him.
And here's the thing, yeah, he just
he
just swung into a lance for free because Gareth's target attack.
Yep. So he was afraid of the Snow White here because Snow White would be able to board wipe had he swung in with everything. But speaking at the same time, that's 1,100 damage.
But why even play the lance if you're not even going to swing with it? That's my question. So I think Thomas misplayed already by not grabbing the bow or not discarding that second bow, and I think Robert already misplayed by dropping that lance for no reason. Again, it's
not a misplay per se. I think you're right. It's a little less optimal line of play. Yep. So he's gonna go ahead. Not even trade because Snow White has to target us first strike. So, or no, he should have played Gleipnir, swung at life, and then wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, at least you can seal. Okay, he's making the right line of play here. It's not bad at all.
Conceal, don't feel.
Conceal, don't feel. All right.
Now they know.
Lancelot. Hector.
Yep. No, wow. Jeez. Thomas just going ham. We might actually get a game 3 out of this.
We might.
But maybe not. I mean, I don't know. Thomas is just leading really heavy right now. Yep. And there's yeah, wow.
Oh, God. The protection of Seraph. Oh, my
Goodbye.
goodness.
Is that game? Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be so hard to come back from that. I mean, it's very clever that he's utilizing Protection of Seraph
Protection of Seraph, like I said, one of the best cards.
So nasty.
And honestly, that's what's giving Thomas the edge here.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
protection of Seraph coming down on something like a Medusa. I mean, just think about that.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy.
If only Stephanie Shaw had been utilizing white.
Yeah.
This is an exciting match, to be honest. I mean, I feel like I think at this point, so Aqua, last time we both believe Robert had it in the bag. How do you feel now? Who do you think is going to win this game?
I mean, Thomas is looking really strong right now.
I agree. I think, again, like I said last time, but again, clearly I can be surprised. I think it's hard to justify not having Thomas's back.
Once you get that protection out, like I think it's so hard to recover from that.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Robert can do here, though, with his Gleipnir, and that's the thing. I think between Gleipnir and Flame King Shadow Demon Flame, I mean, to be honest, Robert actually can do a fair amount of board clear, but I like the fact that there's no real way to deal with that Lance.
That's so true, yeah.
Yeah. Again, though, it hurts my heart to see the fact that, I mean, he doesn't have two. Because here's the thing. Thomas can swing. If he had two bows right now, Thomas could have two bows swing face. No matter what he blocks with, he could ping it and just do that damage to face.
That's true.
So then he starts a clock. And that's the thing. He's effectively killing two resonators a turn with a Lance's pump and two bows. You know
okay,
what I
I
mean?
see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, so, and like I said, I think it was honestly a huge misplay that he dropped that bow. That I just, he could be so much further ahead right now, and he's not. And I think that's a huge problem. Also, to be fair, Thomas has another Hector as well.
Thomas just drops another Gareth. Such a threatening position here. That protection of Seraph on the Lancelot.
I don't think it does that much for him though right now.
Yeah, because if he swings in, okay.
But that doesn't matter because it's just he's gonna ping for 7. Like I don't really get. He just wasted that Hector.
Yeah, I agree.
All he's doing is not. Yeah, there's no reason.
He's forcing him to trade here. I don't know if that's the best play.
He shouldn't have played the Hector. He should have saved the two stones, and then he should have just pumped the Lance. You know what I mean?
He's basically giving Robert opportunity to block.
Yeah, but that's what I still
to get rid of that protection of Seraph and
yeah.
There goes.
But that's what I'm saying. I would have just swung with Lance, got him to block, and then pumped it to 800 and killed it. There was no reason to play Hector. Yeah,
you could have just done the same thing with 2 mana, but he at least has a little more pressure on the field. 4/4. Okay, so he dealt additional 1,200 damage here.
Yeah, so I mean things are going rather quickly. Again, Thomas is just very far ahead. But here's what Robert can do right now. Wow, I think he sided in 6 Flame King shouts. His entire deck is Flame King shouts and 2 Lancelots.
Yeah, right.
Holy jeez.
So we're gonna see a Flame King shout come out. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be Flame King shout, Gareth,
Drop
and then probably
Hectors.
Demon Flame. Yeah. Wow, that's gonna be actually devastating. Why do I need to stop asking who we think is gonna win because we're just jinxing it every time.
I know it's at every turn. You see some huge play here. He wants to swing. He wants to crash everything.
I actually think that was a good play there.
Yeah, because
look at
Thomas has 1 card in hand. So, with that being said,
that's what I'm saying. And just imagine if Thomas had double bow, he could have killed it in response. Oh no, he couldn't have. It would have lived regardless. Never mind. As you were, Gareth, too strong. Yeah. But again, regardless though, the double bow would have done a lot more work because Protecting Seraph literally did nothing for him. There was no situation.
Well, I don't think. I think Protection Seraph, he could have started swinging in with his Hectors and stuff before swinging in with Lancelot. Bait out if he doesn't block with it. That's fine. The Hectors and the Gareth still get in for damage.
Well, that's true.
And then you just swing in with your Lancelot afterwards if he blocks. If he doesn't block, just leave Lancelot untapped. It forces him to always answer that Lancelot without touching the other ones.
Well, that's true. But that's what I'm saying. If he had the second, the Seraph didn't do anything for him here, so he should have discarded it and then kept the second bow. So he'd have 2 bows in play right now, both with 2 charges. And if he hadn't played the Hector and just pumped his Lance instead, he would have a Hector in his hand as well. So, again, Thomas is basically down 2 cards for no reason.
I wouldn't say no reason, but there's definitely he definitely got a little bit eager with that play.
Yeah. So yeah, just swinging in for 5. So yeah, just slowly whittling him down.
Yeah, and we do see here that Thomas is trading in quick damage, small snips of damage, for his hand advantage.
I think
which I'm not a big fan of because small amounts of packets of damage I feel aren't that beneficial.
I think Robert was at 18 as well actually, and he took 5. Yeah, so he's at 13. Okay, good. Aqua, I completely agree with you. I think the small, anything to get in is fine, but You know, it's
yeah,
just,
but I don't usually agree with that. But
yeah. I mean, there's better things to do. Like we've been saying, you know, a Drake, a Gwyber. There's just stronger plays that these gentlemen can be utilizing. I'm sorry, folks. We're actually watching the obviously we're watching the stream right now, and the other casters are sitting with the creator of Force of Will, and
oh god,
they're complimenting him on his good looks. I literally can't.
I would too.
yeah. I guess they want to keep their jobs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of sugar in his britches. So yeah, it looks like we're actually going to see a Demon Flame here.
Okay.
In order to kill, yeah, so double Demon Flame.
Oh man, that really does. But we do see here that the Gleipnir is staying in the hand. A great
Again,
play.
just holding on to it, and then this is what I'm saying. He could have a second. That Bedivere does nothing if he has double bow.
Yeah,
He was, you know what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I really think Thomas is going to lose because he discarded bow. I really do. I think
I don't know if he's gonna lose there. Oh, there it is.
he just wasted a Demon Flame when he could have added bow and play. You see what I'm saying? Like that's so huge.
Oh my gosh! And top decking a.
I mean that's pretty fat. I mean that top deck root egg is just outrageous.
it protects you so much, and if he draws like a Lancelot, whatever, threatening it, there you go.
Oh, or that. Wow, that's actually bonkers.
He's just going to ping it, but Thomas is going to search for any red race resonator, meaning Lancelot's going to see the field once again.
Oh, geez. Yeah, wow. Robert's actually, I mean, to be honest, Robert could just pass here. I think he needs to. What's Snow White's defense? Is it
700. So.
it's 7? So it actually, it would die to Lance though, because
So
he's
he
more
did.
than
He did
enough.
pass,
Yeah.
and there's a Seraph. Oh, once he picks up a red resonant, that Lancelot with another protection, that's GG.
This is actually a very interesting line of play that we're seeing these gentlemen go through. So it's, I mean, literally going down to
Percival,
top decks. Percival, very, very lucky. Wow, yeah, there's a
Okay.
lot that can come into this. Honestly, I might opt for the second Percival just for board state. That's what I would do, to be honest. I would probably get a Percival.
Yeah.
I
You
think
have
the
to
second
get the
Percival. And you go into from the Percival and hope you get
So
maybe
we
a
do
Lance.
see here that Gleipnir is a little bit subpar to Arla's bow.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, there's the Lance, and then maybe honestly, I might get a Hector here instead. To be honest. Yeah, but I'm sorry, not a Hector, a Gareth, but I think he has to go Lance here just because he has so many
you have to go
stones.
to lot Lance.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, I think he takes the Lance, and I think he plays Snow White and swings. That's what I would do.
Right now?
Absolutely, because the thing is, if Thomas searches for his own Lance, Robert's going to have the opportunity to play his Lance next turn, and then just pump it for 4 and then ping his Lance. So if he plays the Snow White, he's baiting out the Lance from Thomas, but Thomas already has information that Robert has his own Lance. So I think he plays the Snow White, pings the egg, and just goes ham. And then the other thing too, to be fair, is that Robert also has 2 Percivals in play, so he can just indefinitely prevent damage from Thomas's Lances as well. So
Okay, so he is he's playing the 2 to play the Lancelot. He wants to get some damage in here. He's saving the Snow White for a later time, but just amplifying the damage output here. So
I mean, I guess Thomas is just playing the slow game. Yeah, Lancelot's right on the. I think he just grabbed it and put it on top. Yeah, I think Lance is the obvious choice here, just because it kills Lance, and then he's forcing Thomas to essentially sack his
Percivals.
Yeah, and then he also has the
But
protection
protecting
of
Seraph
yeah.
is gonna win him the game here.
It's gonna go a long way, for sure.
All he can do is block the Lance.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, to be fair, Robert didn't know he had a protection, but
There's no way for Robert to know that.
yeah,
So, and I think Tekken 2 is just optimal amount.
it is perfect. Yeah, for sure. Wow, and that top deck Percival is just really nasty.
It is. Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow, into another Lance. Like, that's just outrageous. Oh, wow, actually, I'd probably grab a Percival, to be honest with you. That way he can just trade damage all day, and there's nothing he can do, even if it gets blocked.
Yep. Percival.
Did he grab? No, I think he grabbed a Hector. No, second Lance.
Sorry, yeah, second Lance. So
Okay. I mean, I guess he can do that. That makes sense.
it's not bad.
I mean, again, I think there's some interesting lines of play here. I guess he's going aggressive because he can really put a lot of pressure on Robert with that 1300 life.
Well, think exactly. He's going to swing into life. 4 right there. Yep. Kill off of one of the Percival. Swing into life. You have to think it's swing to life here.
Yeah, he does, and then he's going to block with the other one. So he's actually going to kill both Percivals, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh, let's
And
kill the last
and
one.
and he's. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if he pings a Percival or the Lance because he has to sack Percival.
Yeah,
regardless.
it's going to happen regardless. So it's going to end the same outcome, basically.
And he has to block, otherwise he loses because he's literally at 1300.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And just
so,
pumping the last 3 is going to be enough.
Yeah, so so there's. I mean, unless we see what Kevin did last time.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Just accept the damage and
Yes,
call it a game.
accept the damage, GG.
That would be insane.
Yeah. There's nothing to think about. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, and it's just we're in Worlds. This is possibly your final game in Worlds. You should know what the optimal line of play here is. You have to block.
Yep.
And you have to sack.
He's gonna block. He's gonna sack off one of the Percivals, give his Lancelot, prevent the damage coming into Lancelot, and then Thomas is gonna go ahead and drop the second Lancelot and equip it and swing into life and equip the Seraph to it. So.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Oh my gosh, that's yeah. Oh, he accepted it, and he pinged it.
I don't know. I would have kept the Lance up so I could swing with the Lance, to be honest.
Oh my gosh. No, because he just needs 300. He kills it. Right? He kills it, and then he boosts his Lancelot 300 with the last 3 stones he has. That's 13 for game.
Yeah, no, he's
so
blocking.
he has to sack his he has to sack a Percival to prevent Percival's. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So Percival, he had to accept the damage from Lancelot. He's swinging in because he has the bow. He's just going ahead and deal 400 damage to that Percival.
Oh, he doesn't have a bow though. There's no counters in his bow.
He had one counter.
Oh, he had one counter.
Yep, and that's game.
Oh wow, that's game.
So he had to sack the Percival to protect her. I mean, granted, he was still in a tough position, but if he sacked the Percival, he still would have had one more turn to survive.
Yeah. Wow.
Not a misplay because it didn't change the outcome. I feel just because looking at the hands, but at the same time, like that's wow, impressive play there by Thomas.
I'm
the
very
protection of Seraph. I mean, hands down, the MVP.
Wow. You just like that. He literally sat in his hand the whole game, and he discarded the other one.
Had he dropped the second one, it wouldn't have mattered. Like that game was taken away.
Aqua, I agree with you. I certainly agree with you. I mean, Protection Seraph is a real nice card and a real sleeper. Now, I'm anxious to see if we're going to see Thomas Wilkinson in top 8 going into the next series of our videos that we're going to record shortly. So, Ernest, aka Aqua.
What's up? Talk to me.
How do you feel going into top 8? What do you? I heard that it's seven Blazers and 1 Machina black-white build. What do you think?
I don't anticipate the Machina build to really do too well. With that being said, I mean, these games are going really late, right? So basically, the Machina build is probably going to look to OTK as soon as possible. So what happens is generally like lead 3 mana up, search out for a PST power supply team, lead 3 up, search out for a second power supply team, set up the OTK, J-activate, drop the PSTs from their hand, and then swing in for game. Basically, they'll have like a Gwyber or something set up, and they'll swing in the life with Gwyber, PST, reset that, Gwyber swing in the life again, PST, reset that, Gwyber swing in the life for a 3rd time for the damage you need for game. That's generally the strategy behind it. And as we're looking here, like most of these games go by really long.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
basically, Blazer can't J-activate until its opponent like J-activates.
It's too late. Yeah.
And in Blazer vs. Blazer, there's no need to right now. So we don't see too much of J-activating. Machina just kind of takes advantage of that because it doesn't need J-activate until it sets up the OTK, kind of like Faria.
Yeah.
When they want to OTK, they just J-activate. And that's it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching our analysis and commentary on rounds 5 and 6 of the World Championship for Force of Will 2015. Come and join us again at the
top 8
commentary and analysis during top 8 Worlds 2015 Force of Will. Thanks, guys.
All right. Have a good night.